What is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I want to do just a short video about how beginners should go about choosing new discs, because there's so many discs on the market and new players don't actually know what to buy, and there's so many options, and a lot of players wind up wasting money on discs that they wind up not even liking, and then you finally get your discs in the mail and you're excited about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be at all. So I'm here to help you prevent making that mistake. So because I've done it and I don't do it anymore, and there's a few things that I go about to make sure that I don't do that. So the first thing that I want to do is identify what my needs are. So when I'm looking for a new disc, I try not to just buy a new disc for no reason. I try and, if I'm going to buy a new disc, it's going to be something aside from doing a review for you guys. I'm going to buy a disc for myself if I think it has a genuine application within my game. So you need to identify what you have and then what you don't have, and that's going to be a way to find what you need. So let's use Innova as an example here. So let's say you bought a starter pack and you've got yourself an AVR. So you have, a putter, which is 2-3-0-1, so 2 speed, 3 glide, 0 turn, 1 fade. You have your AVR, you have your rock, your workhorse mid-range, and then you have, let's say it came with a leopard. So now you have your 2 speed, your 4 speed, and your 6 speed. And now you've gotten to know these discs really well, and you found that, this leopard has really nice glide, but you find that it's got too much turn on it, and you want to get yourself something that's not going to have the tendency to go so hard to the right when you throw it. That's very common for leopards, especially found in starter packs, that you throw them and you're unable to get them to hyzer out to the left at the end of the flight. And I'm speaking from the perspective of a right-handed backhand. So now we know what we have, we know what we need. So we want to find a disc that's going to give us a similar flight characteristic to the leopard, but maybe something that won't turn right quite as much. So now we want to look and see what our options are. So we can choose between any of these control drivers or fairway drivers is going to be a good option as long as we pay attention to the flight numbers. Another good thing to follow is if a disc is popular, it's usually because it's a good disc. So, just at first glance, the discs that I see right in front of me, I'm seeing the Eagle. So we have a 7.4 minus 0.93. So if we compare that to the leopard that we're already throwing, we can see that it's 1 speed faster, so it's going to require a little bit more arm speed to get the desired flight. It has a 4 glide, so it's not going to get the same glide as your leopard was, but it's going to have more of a finish. It's got a 3 fade and a lot less turn. So if you throw it hard, it'll turn over a little bit, but then it will definitely come back at the end of the flight. So that does seem like a very appealing option. But if we look around a little bit more, if we look at something like the T-Bird, we can find ourselves seeing that it's got that 5 glide. So we like the 5 glide so we can get the distance that we want, because we don't have any distance drivers yet. So let's focus on, what we've been doing and just progress properly. So if we look at the T-Bird, we have a 7 speed. So again, it needs to be thrown a little bit faster than the leopard, but it still has the 5 glide. So we're on board with that. It has much less turn, but it still has a little bit of turn, so it'll be able to carry straight in its flight, but then it has a 2 fade instead of the 1 fade. So this might be a really nice option for somebody who has that starter pack and is in that situation, who is looking for that next disc in their lineup. So we look at that leopard, we look at that T-Bird, and now we find ourselves, saying, okay, well, which T-Bird do I want? So the reason I'm on Infinite Discs is because I like the way that they have it set up and they have all the brands here, so I can do this video with you guys. Now, my advice to new players, unless you have very, very, very slow arm speed or like previous injuries, or you just really like lightweight discs, I think you're better off organizing your discs from high to low. So we'll just give it a second. It does take a minute to load here, but we'll just give it a second. The reason you want to throw these higher weight discs is because down the road, when you do become a better player, you want to be used to throwing. They don't have to be max weight. So let's scroll down. Like, as far as beginner players are concerned, like this 165 to like 168 range is really nice. So we can look and see they have heaps of different plastic types. I would advise not getting DX plastic unless you're buying this for like a child or someone who's not going to be playing very frequently. It's just not great plastic. It beats down over time, but it does have the benefit of being very inexpensive. So if we come up to that next step up, we look at Star Plastic. Star Plastic is really nice because it has a lot of grip, but it also has a lot of durability. If we look at Champion Plastic here, it does have even more durability, but it has even less grip. So my advice would be to start with Star, and if you feel like it's not durable enough for you, or you're still having issues, then maybe go to Champion, but I don't foresee you having any problems with Star Plastic. So when we're choosing our disc, we'll organize again. So we'll find a weight that we like, and another bit of advice for me is stick to bright colors. So if I was a new player and I decided that I really want the T-Bird, Iceberg TV said I should get a T-Bird, I would find a really bright one so you don't find yourself losing the disc. A lot of these dark colors, the purples, and I saw some like brown ones up at the top. So if we come up here, like I would never buy this because I would just lose it immediately. And it's just not great. So no offense to Nibo. I bag an old Nibo T-Bird and they're really good. So that's kind of the process that I would go about buying a new disc. Now, another thing that's really important is using all your resources. So if let's say, okay, so we went back, we went through the same process, and we found ourselves, instead of that T-Bird, we were like, okay, so we know Discmania produces the same discs as Innova for the most part, aside from a few things here and there, but it's mostly the same, largely. We can come down to our control drivers and we find ourselves at the FD. So the FD is gonna be very similar to that T-Bird, but it's gonna have a bit more glide and it's gonna be a little bit straighter than the T-Bird, which you might find is a better option for you in this situation. So we've identified the need, we've identified what we wanted, we know how to buy it properly and pick the right plastic that we want and organize within the search. But the next best thing that you can do is find yourself someone who reviews discs and watch the review and make sure you find someone who actually throws it in the review so you can see what it flies like. So let's have a look at this video. Else, and they've been throwing it for a long time. So this one's a bit flippier. As far as the Night Strikes go, the Night Strike 1 is that perfect mixture of it has the stability to handle power and to be thrown flat, and it'll still have a finish at the end. And then if you want something a bit more stable, the Night Strike 2 is going to be a lot more stable out of the box, can handle a lot of power, can handle straight flat throws, and maybe even a slight anhyzer, and it'll always work out and have that dependable fade at the end. Now, as far as how it feels in the hand, the plastic feels really good. I'm partial to glow plastic. I find it to be a little bit more grippy, and then also typically glow plastic. So we can see that, let's say we were having that problem of our leopard flipping over. We saw this gentleman in the video here clearly throwing the disc, and we're seeing that it's not flipping over to the right, it's going straight and having a consistent finish to the left. And what we can notice here is, so we've identified our need, we've decided what we wanted, and now we've seen a video of it being thrown, and we're seeing that it's exactly what we're looking for. So now we can go in, and you just need to do your due diligence. So you need to figure out what exactly it is that you want, and then just don't impulsively buy discs randomly. Unless you just like getting more discs, then go ahead and buy whatever the heck you want. But if you want to be productive about purchasing discs, just do your due diligence. And then your needs will change over time and you'll have plenty of excuses to continue to buy discs down the road. And then if you decide that, you like the way Discraft plastic feels, you can come on over to Discraft and you can do the exact same thing. So just find that control driver and find that disc that's very similar to what you were, wanting. So if you like your leopard, but you like the way Discraft plastic feels, you would come right over and find yourself a Sting, and you could use the flight system on here. So you could, very easily switch your discs around the way you want to and do exactly what you want to do. Now, again, in that same situation, you like the way that T-Bird feels, you like the flight, but you want something a little bit faster, you could come over and find, okay, this is faster. It still has pretty good glide, It doesn't have much turn, but it seems like it can go straight, and then it does have a strong finish at the end of its flight. So you can use these numbers to gauge that, will this disc fit my needs according to the flight numbers? And then go and find yourself a disc review that's going to give you the information that you want, according to what your needs are. So if you continue to just do your due diligence and figure out what your needs are, take your time, be patient, ask questions, get involved in the community, ask your friends who are disc golfers. A lot of the local pros are really good about discs, and they may even have discs in their collection that they let you just throw before you even have to buy anything. So there's so much.
Let's do a couple throws.
There's so much information on YouTube, so just figure out what your needs are, identify what you have, identify what you want, watch the videos, get involved in the community, follow these disc golf channels, and you're gonna not have any problem getting the discs that you need. But this was an issue that people keep asking over and over again, like, how do I figure out what discs I need to buy? And that's the best way, is just do your due diligence, do your research, get involved in the community, and don't be afraid to talk to the local players. Don't be afraid to approach the local pros at league. Like, most people are really good about giving you the advice you need, and they'll steer you in the right direction. And they'll probably, if you know someone who's a pro, they probably have discs, they'll sell you on the low, and it all just works out for the best. So if you guys like this video, leave your comments in the comment section down below. If you guys have any other questions about this topic, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll do my best to answer it. This is Iceberg TV. Thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up and take care.